to day 21 of my 6th annual SLAP challenge. SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 21, which is very exciting because it means that the challenge is already half over. We have made it to the halfway point. We start on the back half together today. So thank you to everyone who has been doing this challenge with me. Of course, you do not need to do the challenge. If you want to just do this workout with me today, that's fantastic. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and just use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to hear just a little bit about what the challenge is and how it works before we begin, let me start by telling you that there is a playlist for this challenge. I will link the playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and I will link it at the very end of this video as well, so you can't miss it. Now, as I mentioned, this is my 6th year in a row doing this challenge. And this year, I really wanted to go out of my way to ensure that the challenge is accessible to ultra beginners, super duper beginners. So if you've never done a workout before in your entire life, you are in the right place. Please stick around. If you are not a beginner, then what we are going to do today might not be very challenging for you. So if you want to do the challenge, but you're more advanced and you want workouts that are maybe a little bit longer, more difficult, I'm going to recommend that you follow along with last year's playlist. So last year was my 5th year in a row doing the challenge, and last year the workouts, it was the same challenge. We were doing at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day every single day except Sundays for 40 days. But the workouts last year were much more advanced. They were more challenging, more difficult. We were generally doing more than just those 160 reps for a lot of the workouts. And we were also generally doing just more advanced versions of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. For a lot of the workouts, we were adding weight, which I haven't been doing very much of this year, and we were incorporating like 20 minutes of cardio into the most of the workouts as well. So what I want you to do is, if you are more advanced, you're more than welcome to stick around and do this workout with me today. It's a great workout, and all of the workouts that we have been doing this year are great. And it's a good idea to save both playlists, because even if you are more advanced and you're capable of doing a lot more challenging versions of these exercises than what we're doing this year, these workouts this year are also a great option to have. They're great workouts. They're just, for the most part, really short and kind of simple. We're doing pretty much exactly just those 160 reps every day. And if you are in decent shape, you are going to be able to complete almost all of the workouts that we're doing for the challenge this year in under 10 minutes. And for the most part, we're just focusing on body weight exercises. So they're perfect if you're traveling and you don't have access to equipment, or if you're just a little tired and you don't feel like adding weight to your workout, you can just do one of these short little body weight workouts. If you're super pressed for time, again, you can get most of these workouts done in under 10 minutes. So it's really easy to just squeeze in a quick 160 reps with me if you have no time for a longer workout. And a lot of these shorter workouts that we're doing this year will make a great warm-up for something more intense or more time consuming. So if you're planning on going for a long hike or a bike ride or something, one of these short little 10-minute workouts will make a great warm-up for something like that. So I will link the playlist that I made last year for the challenge up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video, and it will be linked at the very end of the video. So if you are more advanced, I'm going to recommend that for the most part, you're probably going to want to follow along with last year's playlist, but I'm going to recommend that you save both playlists because you can just kind of bounce back and forth between the two playlists. So regardless of which playlist you're using, or if you're using both playlists, just keep in mind that even though I'm presenting this in kind of a very structured way, I'm sharing a brand new workout with you every single day. and the workouts are numbered: day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And of course, you are more than welcome to do exactly what I'm doing every single day and work out right along with the video, work out with me and do the exact same workout I'm doing on the exact same day I'm doing it. That's great. But if you're doing it, remember, it's your challenge. So you do it in a way that works for you. Really, the only requirement to participate in the challenge is just that you're getting your 160 reps done every day. If you can. If you cannot do 160 reps every day, we'll get to that in a minute. But the challenge is 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, 40 push-ups a day every day for 40 days. So that's 160 reps a day, excluding Sundays. So Monday through Saturday of every week. So as long as you're getting those reps done somehow, then you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge. So it doesn't matter how you get them done, when you get them done. Okay, so you can choose any workout off either of the playlists that you want. That's fine. If you don't like the workout I'm doing today, but there was a workout that we did previously in the challenge so far this year that you loved, just repeat that one. Or if you don't like any of these workouts from this year and you're more advanced, try one or any of the workouts that we did last year, okay? And if you don't want to even do a structured workout, you don't have to. You can do one of my workouts, that's great. If you like the workout, but there's just one exercise that you don't like or you can't do, for example, if you don't like the push-up variation I'm doing today or you can't do it, just swap it out with any other push-up variation, that's fine. Or you can make up your own workout. But like I said, you don't necessarily even have to do a structured workout. You can spread out your reps throughout the day any way you want. All right, so you could get up first thing in the morning and do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of any ab exercise you want and 10 push-ups. And then you could just repeat that 3 more times throughout the day. It can be any variation of those 4 exercises you want. So you can do it again after lunch, do it once more when you get home, and then once more before bed, and that's your 160 reps. Or you can make it into a game. If you're working in an office, you know, you can say every time you get up from your chair, you have to do 5 squats or something like that. Every time you walk down the hallway to get a drink or a snack or to use the restroom, you have to, you have to lunge down the hallway. So you have to walk down the hallway like this. Keep a running tally throughout the day and see how many reps you can squeeze in at work, okay? I will love you forever if you do that at work. Please do that in your office. But the point is that as long as you're getting your reps done, it doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter where, it doesn't matter when. If you complete your 160 reps each day, then you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge. So do it your way. Do it in a way that works for you. And if you cannot do 6 days a week, do 4 days a week or 3 days a week or 1 day a week. Okay, do what you can. If you cannot commit to doing 160 reps every day, maybe you can commit to doing 80 reps every day. That would be 20 squats, 20 lunges, 20 reps of any ab exercise you want, and 20 push-ups. Spread up any way you want throughout the day. I have a few people who are doing the challenge, but they're just doing fewer reps because that's what they can manage right now. So whatever is manageable for you, whatever you can fit into your schedule, whatever works with your time constraints, whatever works with your current fitness level or your access to equipment, just do it in a way that works for you. And please remember that I am right here doing the challenge right along with you every single day. I'm working out with you every day, but I'm also here to answer questions and provide guidance. I am here to motivate you and support you and encourage you on this journey. So don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. Now, if this is the first you're hearing about the challenge and you're like, okay, what is the challenge exactly? Well, in a nutshell, I've already explained it. 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, 40 push-ups a day, every day except Sundays for 40 days. That is the challenge in a nutshell. But there is more to it than that. We are using this challenge. My objectives doing this challenge are to get myself in shape, to lose weight, and to get myself stronger, improve my stamina, strengthen my heart and my lungs. Okay, so those are kind of my physical goals, but I have kind of mental health related goals as well. So a big part of why we're doing this challenge is to establish a habit of daily exercise so that once the challenge is over, it's not really over, in the sense that we're going to hopefully be continuing because we will have established this habit of doing a workout every day. And that habit, establishing that habit, kind of goes hand in hand with another major goal of this challenge, which is to use these reps every day to silence that negative self-talk that really holds me back a lot. And I know I'm not alone. So that's a big part of this challenge as well. Like I said, there's kind of a mental health component to it. So the challenge is kind of multifaceted. You don't, again, do it in whatever way works for you. So if you don't care about all that stuff and you just want to get some reps done, then you can look at it that way. But the reason why I started doing this challenge in 2020, a major component of it was this mental health component, which consists mostly of silencing that negative self-talk. So we're using these reps to silence that negative self-talk. And if you want to hear any more about that, I covered all of that on day 1 of the challenge. So if you do want to join the challenge, you have a couple of options. You can jump in and start today, that's great. You can start with day 21. I would rather have you do the second half of the challenge than none of the challenge. So I'm not gonna say it doesn't count unless you do all 40 days. Again, you're gonna do it in a way that works for you. So if you wanna just jump in and start the challenge today, great. But if you want to start on day 1, I do recommend that. Obviously, I designed the challenge to be a 40-day challenge. So what I would like you to do, even if you don't plan on starting the challenge on day 1, I would still like you to watch that day 1 video, just so that you understand a little bit more of what the challenge is, why we're doing it, how to participate, where to begin, because that really is the intent behind the challenge. So I would like you to watch that video just because it's going to contain all of the information that you need to know, and then you can decide if you want to go back and start on day 1. If you're a beginner and you think you can't do this challenge because you think you can't do squats or lunges or abs or push-ups, you can do those exercises and you can do this challenge. So if you think you can't, that is yet another reason to watch that day 1 video, because in that video I spent a lot of time demonstrating and explaining how to do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups with the correct form. And I also provided tons of beginner modifications that I promise you can do. So watch that day 1 video. And then if you decide you want to join the challenge, again, you can start today. You can start on any day of the challenge you want. I don't care. Participate to whatever degree you are capable of participating, okay? But if you do want to start the challenge on day 1, I think that is great. The only thing that you need to know is that if you want to start on day 1, just make sure you start with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday. As long as you start the challenge on a Wednesday, start with that day 1 workout on a Wednesday, everything will fall into place. All you have to do is just follow along with the playlist. I have made it super duper easy to follow along. So make sure you save the playlist. That's step 1. Step 2 is watch that day 1 video. Step 3 is commit. Commit to joining the challenge, okay? Whether you're gonna just do the second half of the challenge, or whether you're just gonna do the challenge 3 days a week, or whether you're gonna do the challenge but you're gonna do 20 reps of everything every day instead of 40 reps, I don't care. But just make the decision that's best for you. Decide how much you can commit to, and then make the commitment. Say it out loud. Say, I'm doing this challenge. I can do this challenge. I'm going to do this challenge, and here's how I'm going to do the challenge. And from there, you can just start with your day 1 workout on a Wednesday if you're gonna start on day 1, and just follow along with the playlist. So step 1, save the playlist. Step 2, watch the day 1 video. Step 3, make the commitment. And step 4 is just do it. Get it done, okay? Once you've made the commitment, I promise that part is easy. So if you wanna start with day 1, start on any random Wednesday. If you don't care about starting on day 1, jump in today, or just kind of browse through the playlist and pick a workout that looks good to you and start whenever and wherever you can. So let me go ahead and start by showing you the exercises that we are doing for today's workout. I will be providing beginner modifications as well. Then we will do a 5-minute warm up and we'll get our reps done together. All right, so the only things you are going to need for this workout is number one, something soft beneath you, like an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. That is ideal. If you do not have a mat, I very strongly recommend investing in either a yoga mat or one of those thicker exercise mats. I just think that this is the absolute number one most important piece of equipment that you can own for home workouts, because especially if you're a beginner and you're doing knee push-ups, you're going to be much more comfortable with something soft beneath your knees. And if you're doing abs, a lot of times we're going to be down on the floor or the ground doing our ab exercise. So definitely you're just going to be a lot more comfortable with something soft beneath you. And you also need to make sure you're stretching every day, whether you're doing the challenge or not. So it's very useful to have an exercise mat or a yoga mat to stretch on. So I very strongly recommend that you buy some sort of exercise mat, like right now, today. Like pause the video and order one, or go to the drugstore or whatever and pick one up. If you don't have a mat, a towel probably can suffice for most of what I use my mat for. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything. And there are other like household items that you can use. So for example, when we're doing push-ups from our knees, if you have one of those, I don't know what they're called, those little kneeling pads for gardening. Like they sell them at like Dollar Tree. They're super cheap, but that can be really helpful if you need protection for your knees, if you're doing knee push-ups. But you could also probably just fold up a towel a couple of times, or grab like a throw pillow, or if you have like those little cushions that go on like patio furniture, or I have little cushions on my dining room chair, something like that. Like household items can work. But it's just a lot more convenient to just be able to use a mat. The only other thing you're going to need today is some sort of weight. Now you don't need weight. I'm going to be using weight. So if you have a light set of dumbbells, that's great. You can use them today if you want. You don't have to. You don't have to add weight. But I'm going to be adding just a little bit of weight today. Now I have dumbbells, but I'm not going to be using dumbbells because I want to assume if you are a super duper beginner and you've never done a workout before that you don't own dumbbells and you don't own any exercise equipment. If I'm wrong and you happen to have dumbbells, you're going to use them today as long as they feel light to you. I don't want you using heavy dumbbells, but if you have a light set of dumbbells, you can get those ready. If not, I bet you have a couple of shampoo bottles. This is just shampoo and conditioner that I grabbed from the shower, or a couple of water bottles. You could fill them with water, or you could fill them with something like dried beans or uncooked rice or kitty litter or powdered laundry detergent, something like that. But these are pretty full, so this is pretty easy to just grab these out of the shower. So they're obviously very light, which is perfect if you're a beginner and you're not used to adding weight to your workouts. You want to start with something that feels light to you, but it's important to start introducing that concept of adding weight to the workouts, because that is how you are going to be able to progress and advance and get stronger by increasing that resistance. And you increase resistance by adding weight. So you're going to want to get a light set of dumbbells if you have them, and if not, you're going to want to grab 2 weights, so either like shampoo and conditioner or 2 water bottles filled with some sort of weight. All right, but that's it. That's all you're going to need. If you are an absolute beginner, it's also possible that you may need to hold onto a chair for support for one or more of these exercises. So as always, if you want to hold onto a chair or a bar stool or some other type of elevated surface for support, I just want you to please make sure that your chair or whatever you're using is strong enough to support your entire body weight. Even if you're not going to be putting all of your body weight on the chair, I just want you to make sure that it's more than strong enough, stronger than it has to be, okay? Safety first. So make sure that your chair is strong enough to support your entire body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy. And what I mean by that is that I don't want you to use like a folding chair or something, nothing that's going to like fold up or collapse or break on you when you do put weight on it. So make sure that your chair or your stool or whatever you're using is good quality and it's well made and it's in good condition. So that when you put weight on it, it can't fold up, it's not gonna collapse or break. And then I just want you to make sure that it's stable. So what I recommend if you're using a chair or a stool is to place your chair or stool on top of your mat to help it stay put so that it cannot slide from underneath you. If you have a chair that you're using for support and you're working out on a wood floor, for example, like when I'm working out in my living room, I work out on a wood floor. If I put my dining room chair there for support, it's gonna be very easy for the chair to slide along the wood floor. So when you put weight on the chair, you wanna make sure it cannot slide from underneath you. So that is yet another reason to invest in an exercise mat, because you can put your chair or your stool right on top of your mat and then it's going to stay put. So that when you lean on it for support, it won't slide from underneath you and you're not gonna fall and hurt yourself. Okay, so, but that's really, I am not going to be using a chair, but if you need a chair, which you might, then just make sure that it is strong enough to support your weight, sturdy enough that it won't collapse or break or fold up when you put weight on it, and stable so that it cannot slide from underneath you when you put weight on it, okay? So grab a strong, sturdy, stable chair or stool or some other elevated surface if you need it. Grab a light set of dumbbells or household items if you need them, and grab a mat or a towel. And once you have all of that equipment, you should be good to go. That's really all you're going to need. So let me go ahead and demonstrate and explain the exercises. I'm starting today by combining my squats and my lunges into kind of one exercise. No, did I just say squats and lunges? That was a big fat lie. Push-ups and lunges. I'm going to be combining my push-ups and lunges into kind of one exercise. So we're going to be doing 2 push-ups, 2 lunges, and that's 1 rep, okay? Or 1 set of this little teeny tiny mini combo. So starting with push-ups, you're going to come down onto your mat. I'm assuming that most of you are doing knee push-ups. So if you are not a beginner, or even if you are a beginner and you can do push-ups from your toes, great, do push-ups from your toes. Being a beginner does not automatically mean that you are incapable of doing push-ups from your toes. You're not automatically at the same level as every other beginner just because you're a beginner. So I'm going to assume though that most of you are doing the push-ups from your knees. So I'm going to go over that first. You're going to start by placing your hands on the mat underneath your shoulders. You're going to step your feet back so that you are in a plank position, and then right here, you're gonna put your knees down right where they are. This is your starting position. So the 3 things you wanna be aware of is, where is my head? Where is my mind? Okay, easily distracted, I'm telling you. So you want your head to be in line with your spine. That's what I'm trying to say. What I mean by that is, if you imagine that you're standing with your back up against the wall, and if you're just kind of like lightly pressing the back of your head into the wall, so you want your head to be perfectly vertically straight up and down in line with your spine. All right, so you want to make sure that you're not allowing your head to drop like this. You don't need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck. You just want your head in a nice neutral position, perfectly in line with your spine. The second thing I want you to be aware of is your shoulders. You want to make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. And it's a very common mistake that people will kind of sink down into their shoulders like this. So what you want to do to fix that is just press the ground away from you. Actively press your palms into the mat. Spread out your fingers as wide as you can so that you have your weight as evenly distributed as possible between both hands, between all 10 fingers. And really actively pretend you are trying to push the ground away from you. And then the third thing I want you to be aware of is your back. You need to make sure your back is nice and flat. It's another really common mistake to kind of allow your hips or your belly to sort of droop down towards the mat and do you see how this is causing an arch in my back? We want to get rid of that arch. So you do that by tightening up your abs and using your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. And you want your abs to stay really strong and tight and engaged throughout the entire exercise. So if you imagine that someone's about to come and punch you in the stomach as hard as they can, you think about how you would brace for that impact. That's how tight you want your abs to feel, okay? So once you have found this position and your body is in one straight line from your knees to your shoulders and your head is in line with your spine, all you're going to do is bend your elbows and lower your chest down towards the mat as close as you can get it. Now the goal is to be able to actually get your chest all the way down so that it touches the mat, and then you're just going to straighten your elbows and push yourself back up. So press the ground away from you again, push yourself back up. Return to your starting position. So your goal is to actually touch the mat with your chest, but you might not be there yet. So that might be a goal that you don't accomplish for another week or a month or a year, but it's what you're working towards. So your goal is not just to touch the mat with your chest by any means possible. That's just what you're working towards. Your objective, the main thing, your one job while you're doing this push-up is not to touch the mat with your chest. Your one job is to not break this straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So you're trying to get your chest all the way down so that it touches the mat, but without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So if you're unable to do that, if you can only come down this far, then I don't want you to compensate for the fact that you're not getting your chest all the way down by lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat. All right, another very common mistake, if you are unable to touch the mat with your chest, a lot of people will then lower their forehead down to the mat. But remember that our head is in line with the spine and we don't want it to move. Okay, so this is a moving plank. If you think of your body as literally a plank of wood, like a 2x4. So from your knees to your shoulders, can't do this, it can't bend, it can't move. Your head can't bob up and down. Everything has to stay perfectly still. And then you're just bending your elbows, lowering your chest as close to the mat as you can, and then pressing yourself back up. But nothing else should move. So if you're not yet able to actually get your chest all the way down so it touches the mat, you're just gonna shorten up your range of motion. So if you can only come down this far without breaking that straight line from your knees to your shoulders, that's fine. This is your push-up. You're gonna stop here, and then you're going to press your hands into the mat, push the ground away from you, push yourself back up and return to your starting position. All right, so it's fine to shorten up your range of motion. Just make sure, the most important thing is that you're keeping your back flat, your abs are tight, your shoulders are away from your ears, your head is in line with your spine. Your body's in one straight line from your knees to your shoulders and nothing moves. If you're doing push-ups from your toes, the exact same rules apply. Literally the only difference is that instead of your straight line going from your knees to your shoulders, your straight line is going to be from your heels to your shoulders. All right, but it's the same thing. You want your head in line with your spine, so you don't want to allow your head to drop down like this. You don't want to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck. Head in a nice neutral position in line with the spine. You want your shoulders away from your ears. So if you're collapsing into your shoulders like this, you're going to press the ground away from you. Push the ground away, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. If your hips or your belly are drooping down towards the mat like this, causing your back to arch, you're going to tighten up your ab muscles. You're going to use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. Now, if your hips are slightly elevated like this, notice that in this position, my back is still flat. So if you find that your hips are slightly elevated, it's not the worst thing. Because as long as your back is flat, you're not going to hurt yourself doing the push-ups that way. It will actually make the push-ups a little bit easier, so don't worry about it too much. The thing you really want to avoid is allowing your hips or your belly to droop down like this, because this is causing an arch in your back. We don't want an arched back, we want a straight back. So hips up here, not terrible. Hips down here, terrible. Fix it, okay? Lift the hips high. today, maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe next year, but your goal is to touch your chest to the mat. Your objective, however, is to maintain that straight line from your heels to your shoulders. So again, your body is a 2x4. This is a moving plank. You're moving your 2x4 down to the ground and then you're lifting it back up, but nothing should move from your heels to your shoulders. Your head should stay still, okay? So if you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, then your options are either A, put your knees down and do knee push-ups, or B, shorten up your range of motion. So if you can only come down this far without lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat, then you're just going to shorten up your range of motion. Once you've gotten your chest as close to the mat as you can, without arching your back and lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat, and without lowering your forehead to the mat, then you're just going to press the ground away, push yourself back up, return to your starting position, and that's your push-up. Now I'm going to be doing what I call core twist push-ups. It's a pretty difficult push-up variation. So if you are unable to do this version of push-ups that I'm about to show you, remember that you can substitute with any push-up variation you want, okay? So any push-up variation from your toes, any knee push-up variation, do any push-up variation that works for you, okay? So I'm going to be doing core twist push-ups, and what that means is that as I lower my chest to the mat, I'm also going to pick up one foot and I'm going to tuck the knee in towards my chest and at the same time across my body towards the opposite elbow, okay? So I'm picking up one foot, tucking the knee in towards the chest and at the same time towards the opposite elbow like this, okay? So I'm doing that as I sink down into the push-up. So I'm going to be doing my push-up with one knee tucked towards the elbow on the opposite side. So it is going to look like this. Pick up one foot, tuck the knee in towards the chest and then across the body towards the elbow on the opposite side as you sink down into the push-up. And then as you push yourself back up, you're going to straighten the leg and put the foot back down. All right, so it's pretty difficult. It's a difficult push-up variation. So you could, if you wanted to, do your push-up first and then do the knee tuck, or you could do like a couple of different knee tucks, okay? So for example, you could do your push-up first, either from your toes or from your knees, okay? Do your push-up, and then if you want, you can come up into a plank position and do the knee tuck. Just add the knee tuck after the push-up instead of doing the knee tuck while you're doing the push-up. Does that make sense? And then you would just alternate sides with each rep. So then another push-up from your toes or from your knees. Then come up to a plank position if you can, and then knee tuck on the other side. So tuck the knee across the body towards the opposite elbow, and then straighten the leg and put it down, knees down for another push-up, okay? If you want to challenge yourself a little more, you could do this, what I always call triple knee tucks. It's 3 knee tucks, so you could tuck the knee once towards the elbow on the same side, once straight in towards the chest, and then once towards the elbow on the opposite side. Alternating sides with each rep. So push up, high plank. Tuck the knee towards the elbow on the same side, tuck the knee straight in towards the chest, and then tuck the knee towards the elbow on the opposite side. Okay, so if you want to increase the difficulty a little more, you could do that. Do like 3 knee tucks. Or you could just do 1 knee tuck after each push-up. Push-ups from the knees, push-ups from the toes, whatever works for you. If it's too difficult to come up into a high plank for the knee tuck, you maybe could do a knee tuck with 1 knee on the mat. So what if you did a knee push-up and then just picked up 1 knee and leave the other knee on the mat for support and tuck 1 knee in towards your chest, alternating sides for the knee tuck with each rep. push up. Now pick up the opposite knee, tuck it in towards your chest, and then back. That's another possibility. All right, so there are ways to modify and do this exercise from your knees. You could also just do the push-up from your toes if you're strong enough to do a push-up from your toes, but it's too difficult doing it with your knee tucked. Then you can do the push-up first and then the knee tuck, okay? So there's a couple of different options for you. If you can't do knee push-ups, remember that it's easier if you elevate your hands. So this is the exact type of chair that I cautioned you against using. So please don't use a flimsy plastic folding chair for this. I am only using this chair so that you can see what I'm talking about, because I could just explain it, but if I explain it while I'm demonstrating it, you can have a visual, I just want you to be able to understand what I'm talking about, but please don't use a chair like this. I'm just using this so you can understand what I'm saying. But you can always do the push-ups with your hands elevated. The higher you elevate your hands, the easier the push-up. So you might be able to do something like this. Just do a knee push-up with your hands on the chair. Just be aware that the farther away from the chair that you place your knees, the more challenging this will be. But the push-up itself is the same. Keep your head in line with your spine. Keep your body in one straight line from your heels to your shoulders. You're just going to hold onto the chair while you bend your elbows and then bring your chest towards the chair as close as you can, and then push yourself back up. If you can't do that, try it. Try inching your knees a little bit closer to the chair and try it from here. This is going to be much easier. It's going to require less upper body strength and less core strength. However, when you're in this position, because you're more upright, it's more weight being placed on your knees. There's more pressure on your knees. So I do find that although from this position, with your knees close to the chair, the push-up itself is quite a bit easier, it is a lot more uncomfortable for my knees. So again, if you want to double up your mat 2 or 3 times, that can be really helpful. Or if you want to grab some extra protection for your knees, like again, cushion, like those little chair cushions, like if you have patio furniture, or I have them on my dining room chairs, something like that can be really helpful, or a throw pillow or something like that, or even just a towel folded over, so that it's nice and thick. So that is another option, because if you have the upper body strength to do that, but you can't do it because of your knees, then you might just need a little bit more protection for your knees. If it's still too difficult, if you really cannot get down onto your knees, remember that you have standing push-up options as well. So for example, you're going to we're pretending that this is a strong, sturdy chair. I have it placed on my mat for stability so it can't slide from underneath me, but I could stand and do my push-up this way. So body in one straight line from my heels to my shoulders. I'm gonna keep my head in line with my spine, holding onto my strong, sturdy, stable chair for support. Just bend the elbows. I'm gonna lower my chest as close to the chair as I can, and then push myself back up. And then if you wanna add some knee tucks, you can do that. You can drive the knee straight up, okay? You can tuck the knee out towards the side, hit those obliques a little bit, okay? Play around with it, but you always have standing push-up options. And again, the higher your elevated surface, the easier the push-up will be. So if you want to go even higher than this, you can try your kitchen counters, okay? Kitchen counter push-ups are a great option, or maybe your dining room table. Wall push-ups are another great option. You can do push-ups with your hands on the wall. So please let me know if you need to see those. And then again, if you want to increase the difficulty, you can experiment with adding a little knee tuck, either during or after the push-up. So lots of options. I do think, I'm going through in my head of everyone that I know is doing the challenge with me, and I think you're all if you're either doing push-ups from your toes or you're doing knee push-ups. So I think that you're all good with knee push-ups and you can choose one of those variations. But if you need any further help with beginner modifications, or if you're unclear how to do wall push-ups correctly, I'm right here to help, so please just ask. But just remember, any push-up variation you can manage will work. So let's go ahead and move on to lunges because again, I'm combining my push-ups and lunges into one exercise. So my lunge variation is very simple today. I'm doing a reverse lunge and I'm adding a leg lift. So if the leg lift is too much, eliminate it. But what you're going to do is roll your shoulders back and down. You want your shoulders away from your ears, chest is lifted nice and high. Tighten up your abs. You're standing in a neutral position, and what I mean by that is that I don't have my feet really wide apart. Like, you don't want your feet wider than your shoulders. You also don't want them touching. So I always have my feet at just about hip width apart. That feels good to me. That feels natural and kind of neutral to me. So once you are standing in this nice neutral position, your feet are about hip width apart, shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are super strong and tight and engaged. All you're going to do is step one foot behind you and then bend both knees and sink down into your lunge. Now I like to tap this back knee to the ground when I do my lunges. That's fine if you want to do that. Just make sure the movement is under control so you don't bang your knee into the ground. The movement should be under control regardless, but especially if you're tapping that back knee, it's really easy to lose control of what you're doing or lose your sense of like spatial awareness, and you don't realize how close to the ground your knee is and you bang your knee into the ground. I've done it. It's not pleasant. So just use caution, use your common sense, okay? Be safe. But something to be aware of, if you do have a range of motion that allows you to tap that back knee to the ground, just make sure you're not going to bang your knee into the ground. What you do want to make sure of is that this front knee is more or less a 90-degree angle, meaning that the knee of this front leg is more over the heel of my front foot as opposed to being out over the toes like this. All right, so do your best to make sure that you have more or less a 90-degree angle in this front knee. And then from here, now if you don't want to do this leg lift, you can just step your foot forward again and return to your starting position. That's fine. But I am going to come down to my lunge, and then before I step the foot forward, I'm going to press the ground away, straighten my legs, and as I do that, I'm going to shift my weight to this front foot. I'm going to pick up this back leg, and I'm going to lift the leg straight up behind me, really feeling those glutes. So lift the leg straight up to the ceiling as high as you can. I look like John Travolta right now. Oh my God, okay, my brain is fried. I did kind of though, right? What is that? What is that? I don't know. I can't dance, don't ask me. So you're going to lift this back leg straight up like you're trying to take the back of your heel and touch it to the ceiling, okay? So it's a reverse lunge, and then just lift that leg straight up as high as you can. You really want to engage your glutes, so really feel your glutes. Squeeze that booty cheek at the top, okay? And then lower the leg with control, and then you can step the foot back. We're gonna do 2 reps, alternating sides with each rep, so 1 on each side. So now I'm gonna step back with the opposite foot. I'm gonna sink down into my lunge, and now I'm going to shift my weight forward into this front foot. Try to keep your body upright while you do this. Keep your torso as upright as you can while you do this. And then I'm going to pick up this back foot, lift it straight up, place the foot back down, and then step forward, okay? So, reverse lunge, leg lift, step forward, other side. Step the foot back, bend both knees and lunge, shift the weight to the front foot, lift that back leg straight up, and then step forward. If the leg lift is too difficult, again, you can just stay here. Oh, that's exactly what I just said you can not do. You can just do a reverse lunge, no leg lift, alternating sides, okay? Beginner modification for the lunges. Number 1, you can just shorten up your range of motion. So if you are not able to take a huge step behind you, then you can just take a short step behind you. And if you are not able to sink all the way down to the lunge so that your back knee actually touches the mat, then you can be here, okay? So you can take a short step back, bend the knees just a little bit, and then step it forward. You can also hold on to not a flimsy plastic folding chair, but a strong, sturdy, stable chair for support. You can have it here in front of you, and if you do that, You might even be able to do the leg lift if you have the chair here for support, so that's another option. You can either just stay here, or if you feel like this provides you enough stability that you can try the leg lift, great. Again, you can shorten up your range of motion. So you can shorten up your range of motion by taking a short step back. You can shorten up your range of motion by not sinking as deep into the lunge, and you can shorten up your range of motion by not lifting a leg super high, but just lifting it here, okay? So shorten up the range of motion where you need to. Hold on to a chair for support if you need to. The other thing you could do is hold on to your chair from the side. So if that feels better for you, you can just do this with or without the leg lift, okay? So beginner modification, eliminate the leg lift, shorten up your range of motion on the step back, shorten up your range of motion on the lunge, shorten up your range of motion on the leg lift, hold on to a chair for support. Okay, so since I have my chair here, let me show you then what the combo might look like if you're using a chair for your push-ups or your lunges, okay? So maybe you're here. You're going to do 2 push-ups, 2 lunges, that's our combo. And we're gonna do 10 sets like that. So after 10 sets, we'll be halfway done with our push-ups and our lunges because we will have completed 20 push-ups and 20 lunges, okay? So if you're doing your push-ups here, then you're going to do your push-up, and then you can do a little knee tuck if you want, and then push up, knee tuck on the other side. You can eliminate the knee tuck if you have to. And then you're gonna step both feet in, lunge, lift the leg if you can and if you want, and then repeat that on the other side. And that's 1 set. Okay, so then step both feet back again, push up, knee tuck, push up, knee tuck. If you can, do the knee tucks. If not, eliminate them. And then 2 lunges. Lunge, leg lift if you can and you want to. Repeat that on the other side. And that would be 2 sets of the combo. I'm going to be down on the mat for my push-ups. So I'm going to be doing 2 core twist push-ups, 1 on each side. So either from your toes or from your knees, you're going to do 2 push-ups, 1 and 2. Then I'm going to step the feet in, and I'm going to do my 2 lunges, 1 on each side. So I'm going to step back into my reverse lunge, do a leg lift, step forward, repeat that on the other side. Reverse lunge, leg lift, and step forward. And that's 1 set of my combo. So with each set, you're doing 2 push-ups and 2 lunges. We are going to do 10 sets. So that means that when we are finished with this first part of the workout, those first 10 sets of that exercise, we will have completed a total of 20 push-ups and 20 lunges. All right, so that is our P and our L. So we're missing an S and an A. So let's move on to squats. So let's begin by going over your proper form for the squat. Number 1, what's the first thing we do? If you've been following the challenge, then you know the first thing we do before we squat, we tuck our shoulder blades into our back pockets. So take your shoulder blades, tuck them into your back pockets. That means your shoulders are back, like you're pinching your shoulder blades together behind you, and it means they're down towards the back pockets, right? Meaning away from your ears. So if your shoulders are up here, you want to push them down, push them back. That's going to help you keep your chest lifted nice and high. You want to be lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. So shoulders down, chest lifted nice and high. Make sure you maintain this feeling of your chest being lifted throughout the duration of the exercise, okay? Next is to really make sure that your abs are nice and tight. So again, imagine someone's about to punch you in the stomach. You're bracing for impact. So really tighten up those abs. And then, what do we do next? Pop quiz, if you've been following the challenge. And you've seen me explain and demonstrate the proper form for your squats before, that you know that first we hinge, and then we squat. So before you think about squatting, because if you think of your squat as going kind of straight down, your knees are going to tend to end up out over your toes. So do you remember in our lunge position, how we were trying to avoid the knee being out over the toe? And we wanted, or toes, I guess. Most of us have more than one toe on each foot, I'm assuming. You wanted your knee to be more over the heel. Same thing with your squats. You want to make sure that instead of having your knees out over your toes, you want your knees to be over your heels, back over like the heels of your foot, okay? So I want all of my weight to be in my heels. Do you see that I can actually pick up my toes because all of my weight is in my heels? So the best way to do that is to think about hinging at the hips. So if you really imagine trying to touch this wall behind you with your booty, that is going to help you get your weight where it needs to be over your heels so that your knees are going to be more over your heels and not out over your toes. And at the same time, remember that you're keeping your chest lifted nice and high. So you're trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. At the same time, think about trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest so that your spine is nice and elongated. And then from this position is where you can go ahead and sink down into your squat. Okay? So shoulders are back and down. You're tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Your chest is lifted nice and high. Your abs are strong and tight and engaged. Now you're going to hinge at the hips. So pushing that booty back, trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. At the same time, trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. And now with your back flat and the weight in your heels, you're going to sink down into your squat. Now, if you are capable of squatting super low and getting your booty all the way down below your knees, great. Work to your own level though, okay? If this is not comfortable for you or it causes pain, please don't push your body into doing something it's not ready to do. So the goal, so again, we're going to talk about goal versus objective. The goal is to at least see if you can get your thighs parallel to the ground, but you may not be there today. You may not reach that goal today. That may take some time, but that's what you're going for. That's what you're working towards. But you need to make sure that you're working to your own level. Don't push your body into doing something it's not ready to do. Your goal is to one day at least be able to get your thighs parallel with the ground. So you want to have that in mind, but that's not your objective for today if you're not there yet. Your objective is to make sure you're keeping your back flat and that you're keeping your weight in your heels. So as long as your back is flat and your weight is in your heels and your abs are nice and engaged, your chest is lifted high, then you might only be able to come down this deep into the squat. That's fine. Work to your own level, okay? So your objective is to keep your back flat and keep the weight in your heels. Your goal that you may or may not reach today is to try to get your thighs parallel to the ground as you sink down into that squat, okay? So do your best. Don't push your body into doing something it's not ready to do. But once you have sunk as low into the squat as you're going to get, you're going to press your heels into the ground to stand. And I do mean press your heels into the ground. So the same way we visualize trying to push the ground away from us when we were pushing ourselves up into a plank position, doing our push-ups, you want to, again, visualize trying to push the ground away from you with your heels. So your weight is in your heels, so now you're gonna press those heels into the ground. It's really gonna activate all of those muscles from your feet through your legs, your quads. You wanna really feel your quads for this exercise, your glutes and your core, okay? So really activating all those muscles by actively pressing your heels into the ground. Push the ground away with your heels and then stand, okay? Shoulders back and down, chest is high, abs are tight. Booty goes back, keeping your back flat, weight in the heels as you sink into the squat, and then press the ground away with your heels to stand. So that's just a basic air squat. Remember that you can always use a strong, sturdy, stable chair for support if you need it. So you can either stand behind the chair and hold on to it while you squat. Just make sure you're using the chair as little as you can. It's there to assist you. If you need to use a chair to assist you, then use it as much as you need. But challenge yourself to use it as little as possible so so that you're really making your feet and your legs, your quads, your glutes, your abs do as much of the work as you can, because that's how you're going to get stronger so that eventually you can do an unassisted air squat. So use it as little as possible, but it's there if you need it, okay? So if you just need it to steady you and you can almost just kind of place your hands on it, that's great. If you need to kind of lean into it and use your upper body a little bit to help you stand, that's fine. Do whatever you need to do to get the squat done. Just make sure that your back is flat, the weight is in your heels. Make sure you're using your upper body as little as possible. And again, make sure that your chair is strong enough to support your body weight, sturdy enough so that it will not collapse or break or fold up when you put weight on it, and stable so that it cannot slide from underneath you. Another thing you can do if that's too much is squat into the chair. So it's the exact same exercise, meaning that your shoulders are back and down, your chest is high, your abs are tight, you're pushing your booty back. You're gonna keep your back flat, you're gonna keep the weight in your heels as you squat into the chair. Now the temptation, once you know the chair is there, is to just kind of sit into the chair, okay? This SLAP challenge, SLAP, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. So we are not sitting, it's not sits, lunges, abs, and push-ups. It's squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. So make sure you're not just falling down and sitting into the chair, you're squatting into the chair. So what I mean by all of this is that you need to make sure the movement is under control. So did you see how when I did my squat into the chair, do you see how slowly I went? You don't have to go this slowly. I'm doing this just to demonstrate that the movement is 100% under control. I'm not just letting gravity take over and just flopping my booty into the chair. I'm working as hard as I can. I'm controlling this movement and actually making this an exercise. I'm not just sitting down, I'm squatting. Of course, once your booty hits the chair, you can sit into the chair. And then as soon as you can, if you need to take a breath or two here, work to your own level, but as soon as you can and you're ready to stand, you're gonna do the same thing. You're going to actively press the ground away with your heels and then straighten your legs to stand. So you're activating all of those muscles from your feet, through your quads, your glutes, your core, as you straighten your legs and really work those quads to come back up to stand, okay? So if you are here, if you're at this level, then I just want you to do that. I just want you to work on your squats and work on building up the core strength and the strength in your lower body, your quads, to be able to do an unassisted air squat. I'm going to be adding an upper body component, but if you're at this level, I don't want you worrying about that right now. Obviously, it's your choice. You listen to your body, you do what's best for you. I'm going to show you the upper body component that I'm adding, and if you feel like it's something you can tackle, that's up to you. But my personal preference, my recommendation is if you're at this level, to just work on your squats. Just be here, don't add anything. And if you need something else in front of you, if you need another strong, sturdy, stable chair in front of you, because you need to use your body, your upper body a little bit to help you up, that's fine. Or you could put your chair in front of the arm of your couch or your dining room table, okay? But the point is that if you have trouble standing from this position without leveraging your weight a little bit, you can have another strong, sturdy, stable surface in front of you, like the arm of your couch, your coffee table, dining room table, something like that, so that if you need to use your upper body just a little bit to help you up, that's fine. Again, just use your upper body as little as possible. The point is to build strength in your lower body so that you can eventually be able to do the squat unassisted. So do your best. So remember, any squat variation is fine. So if you just want to stick with air squats, just do air squats. If you want to add a little something to it, you can add a leg lift or a kick. It doesn't matter. Any squat variation you want to do is fine. I am adding an upper body component. So this is where I'm using my weights. So you want to grab your light set of dumbbells or your 2 water bottles or your shampoo and conditioner bottles. And what you're going to do is, as you sink down into that squat, you're going to do this little fly. So as you sink down into the squat, you're going to extend your arms out to the side. And then as you stand, you're going to bring the weights together in front of your chest. Okay, so squat with a fly. Bend the knees, open the arms, straighten the legs, close the arms. I am also going to be adding a knee lift. Okay, so let me show you just the knee lift with no added weight, so that if you want to eliminate the weight, but you still want to increase the difficulty of the squat, you can add a little knee lift. So you're going to do your air squat and then transfer your weight into one foot, drive the other knee up towards your chest. Then place the foot back down with control, and then you'll alternate sides with each rep. So you're gonna squat, now transfer your weight into the other foot, lift this foot up, drive the knee up towards your chest, place the foot back down with control. Squat, drive the knee up, squat, drive the other knee up towards the chest. Okay, so you can do your air squat, assisted or unassisted. You can do it with or without the fly, with or without a knee raise, or you can do what I'm doing and you can do your squat with a fly plus a knee raise. Alternating sides for the knee raise with each rep, so it will look like this. I'm going to start with holding my weights out in front of my chest. As I sink into my squat, I'm going to do my fly. So I'm going to extend my arms out to the side, and then as I stand, I'm going to bring the weights together in front of me, transfer my weight into one foot, and drive that knee up towards my chest. Put the foot back down, return to my starting position. Alternating sides with each rep. So now I'm going to squat. As I sink down into the squat, I'm extending my arms to the side. As I stand, I'm squeezing those arms together in front of me. I'm going to shift my weight into the other foot, drive the opposite knee up towards my chest, place the foot back down, return to my starting position. Okay? So squat and fly, knee up. Squat and fly, drive the knee up. Alternating sides with each rep. So this is what it looks like, okay? Really squeeze the weights together in front of you so that you're working your chest a little bit, working the shoulders. Okay, so just starting to introduce the concept of adding a little bit of an upper body component to the lunges and the squats, because we're into the second half of the challenge now. And so we want to start challenging ourselves a little bit more, maybe increase the difficulty and start getting used to doing something a little bit more than just basic squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. If you're not there yet, it's fine. Again, you can eliminate the added weight, you can eliminate the fly, okay? And you can just do a squat with a knee lift, or if you can't do the knee lift, eliminate the knee lift, just do air squats or any squat variation you want. So finally, for my ab exercise, I am going to be down on my mat. If you can't get down onto your mat, you can do standing abs, so don't worry, you can still get your abs done today, lucky you. But if you are able to come down onto the mat, we're really just doing bicycles. I think everybody knows how to do bicycles. It's a really simple, basic, and to me, I always think of it as kind of like an old school type of exercise. Like, I feel like in the 80s when like aerobics classes were big, or like those Jane Fonda DVDs, right? Because it wasn't DVDs at the time, what was it, VHS tapes or something? And her laser disc, I don't know. But I feel like like those, and there used to be like, there's still like shows on TV, there's not, huh? There used to be shows like on TV, like on network television, where it was like a half-hour like workout routine. Does anybody remember that? There was one woman, she looked like Suzanne Summers kind of, her name, it was called Morning Stretch. Does anyone on the face of the earth know what I'm talking about? But anyway, when I think of this exercise, that's what it makes me think of. It's like kind of an old school exercise, and I feel like everybody already knows how to do this one. So you're just going to start on your back on the mat, and I'm going to have my hands clasped together behind my head. I'm going to lift my shoulder blades up off the mat. And the goal is to keep your shoulder blades lifted up off the mat the entire time. You're gonna have one leg extended and you're gonna crunch the other knee in towards your chest, and at the same time, just twist and touch knee to elbow, okay? And my feet are off the mat as well. So starting down here on the mat, clasp the hands behind the head. Lift your shoulder blades up off the mat, lift your feet up off the mat. Crunch one knee in towards the chest and twist your body thoracically to bring your elbow, your opposite elbow towards that knee. And then switch to the other side, okay? So crunching one knee at a time in towards the chest as you extend the other leg straight, and you're always twisting your body thoracically, touching your knee that's coming into your chest, touching that knee with the opposite elbow. If you can. If you can't actually touch knee to elbow, then just get as close as you can. The point is that you want to twist thoracically and feel that crunch in your obliques. Now, I'm going to be increasing the difficulty of this exercise a lot because I'm basically going to be doing 3 times the amount of bicycles that are required, okay? So here's what I'm talking about. If you are a beginner or if you're pressed for time today and you don't want to be doing like 120 bicycles, then here's what you're going to do. You're going to count each crunch as 1 rep. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can count each 2 crunches as 1 rep, so that by the end of the workout, you will have completed a total of 40 reps of bicycles on each side. That'll be a total of 80 reps all day. That's another option. If you want to increase the difficulty just a little bit, you can count 1, 2, 3, okay? If you want to be ridiculous and do what I'm doing, then I'm going to be counting 3 bicycles, and then I'm going to add a leg lift plus a toe touch. And I'm going to count all of that as 1 rep, okay? So I'm going to be going like this. I'm going to be going bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. And now from here, I'm going to take this straight leg and lift it straight up. And at the same time, I'm going to sit up and tap the toes with the opposite hand. Then put the leg back down, hands back behind the head. That's 1 rep. And we're doing 40 of these. So I'm going to be crying. I'm already in tears just demonstrating it because my abs are so weak. So why I'm doing all this extra ab work today is beyond me. So I'm here, then my next rep, I'm gonna do 3 bicycles. So crunch, crunch, crunch. Now the opposite leg is straight, so I'm going to lift my straight leg up. At the same time, I'm going to reach up and tap the toes with the opposite hand. Leg goes back down, hand goes back behind the head. 1, 2, 3, leg lift. 1, 2, 3, leg lift. Okay, so each leg lift and toe touch is 1 rep. So that's a lot, I know. Especially since I'm not breaking them up. I'm going to do all 40 in one set of 40. I'm obviously going to need to pause and take rest breaks, but I'm not breaking them up throughout the workout. So it's gonna be super tough. I do think that bicycles are going to be accessible for everyone that I can think of doing the challenge. I think you should be able to come down and at least do bicycles like this, and you can just count each crunch as 1 rep. If not, if that's too difficult for whatever reason, remember that it does not matter what ab exercise you do as long as you get 40 reps of some type of ab exercise complete throughout the course of your day. So if bicycles don't work for you, you can substitute with any other ab exercise that does work for you. So any sit-up variation or crunch variation you want to do is absolutely fine. You could do Russian twists. And remember that if you can't get down on the mat, you do have options for standing ab exercises as well. So if you're adding weight to the squats, for example, you can pick up one of your water bottles or shampoo bottles, and remember you can do these love bends. We did these a few days ago, where you're just holding the weight in one hand and bending to the side, just kind of allowing your weight to kind of follow the natural line of your leg. Just making sure if you choose to do this exercise that you're aware you're not jutting your hip out to the side from your belly button down. You want to keep that perfectly still. So I always place my free hand on my hip just to kind of remind myself to not let my hip jut out towards the side. I want my hips to stay absolutely still. And then it's just like there's some sort of force gently pulling the weight down. So you're just allowing the weight to kind of follow the natural line of your leg. And then you're going to engage your obliques to lift your torso back upright, okay? So that is one option. Just make sure that you do 20 reps on each side. Or you can do the other standing ab exercise that I show you like every single day. You can hold on to the wall for support, your kitchen counter, your dining room table, or a strong, sturdy, stable chair or bar stool or any other elevated surface. You're going to stand next to your elevated surface, place your hand on the chair or whatever you're using for support. You're going to take your outside leg, extend it to the side, take your free hand, bend the elbow, place the hand behind your neck, and then you're going to lift this leg, bend the knee, and crunch, bringing elbow to knee. Then put the leg back down and stand upright. If you are unable to actually tap your knee with your elbow, then just get as close as you can. Work to your own level, but you just want to feel that crunch in your obliques. So lift the leg, bend the knee, and bring elbow to knee. Touch elbow to knee if you can, but if not, that's what you're working towards. Just get as close as you can, really feel that crunch in your obliques. Again, just if you're going to do that, make sure that you end up even on both sides. So you'll do 20 on one side and then switch to the other side and do another 20 reps. So that's it, that's all for exercises. Now here is the format. I already kind of went over the format, but I'll spell it out right here. Remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video as well, but I'll explain it quickly and then I'm gonna do the workout with you anyway. So you're gonna watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, if anything is unclear with the format and how everything fits together, or if you need help to kind of tweak the format, make adjustments to suit your fitness level or your time constraints or whatever the case may be, I'm right here to help. So just ask. But this is what I am going to be doing. So I'm starting with my push-ups and lunge combo. So remember, that's 2 core twist push-ups and then 2 reverse lunges, alternating sides. So 1 core twist push-up to the left, 1 core twist push-up to the right, then stand. 1 reverse lunge with the left leg, 1 reverse lunge with the right leg. That's 1 set. So we will do 10 sets of that combo. Each set contains 2 push-ups and 2 lunges. So by the time we complete those 10 sets, we will be halfway finished with push-ups and lunges. We will have completed a total of 20 reps of push-ups and 20 lunges, okay? So that's part 1. Then we'll move on to squats. I'm going to do all 40 squats. And then I'm going to move on to abs. I'm going to do all 40 reps of abs. I am going to regret that decision because my ab exercise is super tough today. So if that's too much, you can do your 10 sets of the combo and then you can do half of your squats, half of your lunges. And then you can repeat that whole thing once more, or you can go back then and do your second half of squats, second half of lunges, and then finish with the combo. Okay, as long as you get those 160 reps done, it doesn't matter how you do them. But I am doing 10 sets of the combo, then 40 squats, 40 reps of my ab exercise, and then I'm finishing with 10 more sets of my push-ups and lunge combo. And that is how I am doing my 160 reps today. So hopefully that is all unclear. Again, if there's questions, if anything is unclear, you don't understand the format, or you need help making adjustments, if you have questions about the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help, so please just ask. But it's really important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury and just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. I'm always here to help facilitate that. And that is especially so for this challenge this year. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need help. The last thing I want to bring up before we begin is just, I want to remind you, especially if you are working out along with the video, so please make sure you're going at your own pace and make sure that you are minding your form. So do not sacrifice your form for speed. If you're faster than I am, and if you're in any kind of decent shape, it is very likely that you will be faster than I am, and that's great. Be faster than I am. Just make sure you are not sacrificing your form to get there. If you're slower than I am, who cares? As long as you're getting the reps done, I don't care how long it takes you. What I care about is that you're doing the reps with the correct form. So if you are working at a slower pace than I am, or if you fall behind because you need to stop and rest, that's fine. Just pause the video and come back when you're ready. I do want you to challenge yourself. So I want you to do your best to keep your rest breaks as short as you can. But if you do need to rest, then your rest break should be as long as you need it to be. What I mean by that is that, yes, you want to challenge yourself to rest as little as possible, but you should only resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina to continue with the correct form. So it's really important you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, but it's equally important once you begin the workout that you apply that knowledge and you make sure that you're minding your form so that you reduce your risk of injury. Once you get fatigued, it's really easy to let your form kind of slip, and if you start to get sloppy, that's when you're putting yourself at risk for injury, and I don't want anyone getting hurt. So if you're slower than I am, that's fine. Please don't race through the exercises to try to keep up with me if it means that your form is starting to get sloppy. If you need to go at a slower pace than I am and you fall behind, just pause the video. Once you're caught up, you can start the video again, okay, and rejoin me. If you need to pause and rest, pause the video, take as long of a rest break as you need, and when you're ready to continue with good form, come back, okay? So please, again, just use your common sense and be safe. You have to listen to your body, so work to your own level. Do not push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do. Make sure you're going at your own pace, make sure you're minding your form, and that you're not sacrificing your form for speed. I hope I've covered everything. If you are ready to go ahead and start this workout, gather whatever equipment you need. So that is likely going to be some sort of exercise mat or a yoga mat. If not, maybe a towel, maybe a cushion or a throw pillow for your knees if you're doing knee push-ups. A couple of light dumbbells if you have them. If not, shampoo bottle, water bottle, something like that. And then again, if you need to hold on to something for support, go ahead and grab a strong, sturdy, stable chair or bar stool or some other sort of elevated surface if you need to use a chair for assistance. And now you can pause the video, go get dressed, and then meet me right back here. We are going to do a quick 5-minute warm up and then we'll get our reps done together. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm up routine. So you're going to start by just allowing your head to gently fall towards one shoulder. And then you're going to place your hand on top of your head and just rest your hand on top of your head. You're not actively pulling your ear towards your shoulder. You're just resting your hand there and letting gravity do the work of gently stretching the opposite side of your neck. And we're gonna switch sides, so now let your head fall to the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on your head and just rest it there. Make sure that this shoulder is not creeping up. You want both of your shoulders to be nice and relaxed away from your ears. Next, we're gonna do some head rolls. So you're gonna start by just letting your chin fall to your chest and then roll your head to the other shoulder and back. And each time you roll, let your head start to feel heavier and heavier. You want your arms nice and loose, like you're a rag doll. And you're just kind of letting your head fall farther and farther towards the ground with each roll. Now we're gonna roll the shoulders back. So make big circles with your shoulders. Really exaggerate the movement. Explore your full range of motion. And then we're going to do the same thing with arm circles. You're going to extend your arms out to the side, but you're going to start by making small circles. And then gradually, as the interval progresses, you'll start to exaggerate that movement as well. Make your circles bigger, bigger, bigger until finally they're as big as you can make them, really loosening up those shoulders. Now you're gonna step your feet wider than shoulder width apart. Bend the knees and kind of sweep your hands down in front of you. And then as you straighten the legs to stand, reach the arms up overhead. And each time you bend your knees, you can start expanding your range of motion, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet where they are, wide apart, and we're just gonna lunge side to side, nice and easy. Now adding the arms. So with each lunge, you're reaching across your body. Imagine trying to throw your arm across the room each time you stretch the arm across. Now we're gonna step the feet in close and march. Just marching in place, and little by little, as the interval progresses, you're gonna start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until you're driving them as high as you can, feeling a little stretch in your glutes. And now we're gonna do the same thing with a jog. So start with a nice light jog, and then as the interval progresses, you can slowly start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest. And next is booty kicks. So it's still just a nice light jog, but now with each step, you're bringing your foot up behind you, trying to kick your booty cheek with your heel. Now for this next one, you might need to hold on to the wall or a chair for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. You're going to shift your weight to one foot. Pick up the other foot and just swing the leg. Nice and loose, nice and easy. Just swing the leg up in front of you, swing it behind you. Now switching sides. So weight in the other foot, and then pick up the opposite foot, swing the leg, forward and back. Next, you're gonna shift your weight again. You're gonna take this foot, extend it out in front of you, and just draw a little semicircle. So the leg is gonna go around and behind you. And each time you make that circle or semicircle, you can lift that leg higher and higher until finally, I like to drive the knee up in front of me and kind of guide it around with the other hand. So let's repeat that on the other side, starting low. That foot is low to the ground. Extend the leg out in front of you, make a semicircle, and with each semicircle, start expanding your range of motion, lifting that leg higher and higher, and then finally you can drive the knee up in front of you, kind of guide it around with your hand. Finally, we're going to stretch our hamstrings. So you can use a wall or a chair or a stool your coffee table or couch to assist you. You're just gonna kind of hinge at the hips. Keep your legs more or less straight. It's okay to have just a soft bend to your knee. You don't need to lock out your knees, but the reason I'm showing you on the wall is because if you keep your back straight as opposed to letting your back round, it's really going to intensify that stretch in the hamstrings. So it's easier to get into the stretch if you use a chair or some other elevated surface to assist you. If you don't need a chair, you don't have to use a chair. And it's okay if your back isn't straight, but it just really helps to isolate your hamstrings if you do your best to keep a flat back. And since we're only doing this stretch for a few seconds, I like to tell you always just to use a chair or something. It helps make it more comfortable getting into the stretch, and it helps keep your back flat so that you can really feel the stretch in those hamstrings. I know I always take a few extra seconds in that hamstring stretch, so technically my warm-up is a little bit longer than 5 minutes, but I'm really tight back here, so I always just feel like it's a good idea for me to just spend a few extra seconds making sure that everything's nice and loose, and I'm warm and I'm ready to go. All right, so now our muscles are nice and warm. Let's go ahead and get these reps done. So I am starting with 10 sets of my push-up and lunge combo. So I'm doing 2 core twist push-ups, 1 on each side. Then I'm doing 2 reverse lunges with a leg lift, 1 on each side. That's 1 set. We're going to do 10 sets. So go at your own pace, mind your form, and do your best. Here we go, starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So 2 core twist push-ups. Step the feet in. And now 2 reverse lunges. So lunge, lift the leg, step forward, repeat that on the other side. Step back and lunge, lift the leg, step forward. That's 1 set. So we're gonna do that 9 more times. Do your best. I know it's tough. Five more. Keep pushing. that's my 20th push-ups, 20th push-up, and that's lunge number 19 and lunge number 20. That's 10 sets. So we're halfway done with push-ups and lunges. Now moving on to squats. So grab a light set of weights if you're adding weight. Start with the weights straight out in front of you. Squat with a fly. Transfer the weight to one side and drive that knee up towards your chest, alternating sides with each rep. So squat and fly, drive the knee up, other side. That's 4. We're going to 40. So do your best. I'm picking up my count at 4. When you're ready, here we go. That's 40. Nicely done. So squats are done. Now you're gonna see me cry because it's time for abs. Me and my little weakling abs. All right, so you can just do single counted bicycles if you want. If you want to increase the difficulty, you can double count them, or you can do what I'm doing and count 3 bicycles plus a leg lift as 1 rep. So extend the legs, clasp the hands behind your head, shoulder blades up off the mat, feet off the mat, crunch one knee in, twist and tap the knee with the opposite elbow. 2, 3, and now lift that straight leg, tap the toes with the hand on the opposite side. That's 1 rep, and I have to do 40 of those, so I'll be crying within the minute. So now other side. Twist, 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 lift the leg, tap the toes. That's 2. So bicycle, 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 leg lift. That's 3. 1, 2, 3, toe touch. That's 4. Okay, I'm gonna zip my lip because I need to conserve my energy for these. These are super tough for me. I'm counting those as my first 4 reps. So zipping it, locking it, throwing away the key, picking up my count at 4. Do your best. So that was my 10th rep, which means I've already kind of done 40 reps of abs, right? I've done 30 bicycles and 10 leg lift with a toe touch. But I'm gonna repeat that 3 more times. So it's up to you if you wanna do all these extra reps with me or not. I'm gonna see if I can do another 10 without stopping, so I'm picking up my count at 10. I'm gonna try to get to 20 before I have to pause and rest. We'll see if I can, probably not. Oh. Single tear. More to come, I'm sure. All right, that was 18, so let me see if I can just do 2 more real quick. 19, 20, okay. So I'm halfway there. If these are as hard for you as they are for me, you have my blessing to just like abandon ship and just move on to your final 10 sets of push-ups and lunges, because this is not fun. All right, I can't get through sets of 10, so I'm gonna start making it my goal to do 6 and 4. So I'm gonna try to do the next 6 without stopping, short rest break, and then another 4. That'll get me to 30, and then I'm gonna try to do that again. All right, just do your best. Break it up in whatever way you need to make it work for you. But I'm gonna get the reps done, so it's all good. Picking up my count at 20. Now it's a river of tears. The progression of my agony trying to do all these abs. Okay, trying to keep this rest break short because I'm only recovering from a set of 6 and I only have to do 4 more to complete this next 10. So let's go ahead, do 4 more. That's 27, 28, 29, and 30. So it was really tough getting through those first 6 without stopping. I would like to try to do that again, but I might have to do, for this last 10 sets, I might have to do like, or 10 reps, I might have to do like 4, 4, and 2. You guys, I am on the struggle bus with these abs today. Okay, I struggle with abs every day. So I'm picking up my count at 30. Let me see if I can do 6. Probably not. I'll do my best. I'm not even counting the first half of that. I was in a hot mess. All right, let me try to do that last rep correctly. I was trying so hard to keep my shoulder blades above the mat, but they were slowly like failing. I was trying so hard, I was just like completely flailing at the end there. All right, but I redid that last rep. So that was 16 reps, I'm at 36. I just have to do 4 more reps and then this nightmare is over. Okay. All right. I know that wasn't pretty to watch. Trust me, it wasn't fun for either of us, all right? But abs are done. So squats are done, abs are done. Push-ups and lunges are half done. So we have to finish up with 10 more sets of our push-up and lunge combo. So shake it out. Couple more deep breaths. As soon as you're ready, let's knock out these final 20 push-ups and 20 lunges. Here we go. We did it. Really good job. That was a super tough combo. It's actually a pretty tough workout, so well done. Get up. Make sure, I know it's tempting because that was a tough workout, and I know all you probably want to do is just collapse in a heap on your mat. maybe join me for a good cry. But it's really important that you make yourself get up and move around a little bit. So let's just do a quick cool down. You don't really have to do anything structured. You don't have to do anything more than just pace back and forth with me a little bit. Maybe swing the arms. You can stretch the shoulders out. So just bring one arm across your body, bend the other arm, and use the arm that's bent to pull your straight arm in towards your chest. Make sure this straight arm is nice and relaxed. Okay, we're stretching the shoulder, so you don't want your shoulder tense. You don't want it up here by your ear. Relax the shoulder, relax your arm that's straight. You're just using the other arm to pull this arm in towards your chest, feeling a nice stretch in that shoulder. Other side. So bring your other arm across your body, bend the opposite arm, and use your forearm to pull your straight arm in towards your chest, making sure the arm that's stretching is nice and relaxed. Swing it out. Let's get the triceps. So bending one elbow and then placing the opposite hand on your elbow and just gently pulling your elbow across towards the opposite shoulder blade. Make sure this hand is pointing down towards the ground. So you don't want this hand up here somewhere. Just let it kind of drift down towards the center of your back. Swing it out. Let's do the tricep on the other side. So bending the other elbow, placing the opposite hand on the elbow and just gently pulling your elbow towards the opposite shoulder, making sure this hand that's behind you is pointing down towards the ground. Swing it out, shake out the arms, shake out the legs. Do a quick quad stretch so you can hold on to a chair or the wall for support. If you struggle with balance, I don't normally struggle very much with balance, but when I'm fatigued, I do. So after the workout, I'm pretty fatigued. So if you find, even if you normally don't struggle with balance, you might be struggling now. So you can always hold on to a chair or the wall for support if you need to. Just bringing that foot up behind you. I'm squeezing my foot, pressing my heel into my booty cheek. Let's switch legs. So now bring the other foot up behind you. Reaching back with your hands and grabbing either your ankle or really grab the top of my foot and squeeze my, I'm gonna squeeze my heel so that it's pressing into my booty cheek. And at the same time, you want to try to get rid of this curve in your low back by tilting your hips forward and sucking your belly button back towards your spine. It's going to help intensify that stretch in your quad. So if you have a curve in your low back, which we naturally do, your spine curves here, but if you're standing like this, you're not getting the effectiveness out of the stretch that you want. You want to tilt your hips forward, tilt your pelvis forward so that you're trying to touch your spine with your belly button. And as soon as you do that, you'll feel that stretch intensify in your quads. All right, so if your heart rate has not yet normalized and you're still breathing heavy, you can continue pacing around, doing a little bit of light stretching. The point is just that you want to kind of keep moving, keep your circulation going, keep the blood flowing while you allow your heart rate to come down and while you allow your breathing to normalize. So if you need another minute, pause the video, and when you're ready, let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together. So our 160 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups are done, but no workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. The bonus burpee is mandatory. So let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together. If you are a beginner, I will walk you through how to do a beginner bonus burpee. I always include a push-up with my bonus burpee, but you don't have to. If you've done your 40 push-ups, you've met your requirement for the day, but you do have to do a bonus burpee. You can do a burpee variation that does not include a push-up, that's fine. So I'm going to demonstrate it with a push-up. You can just eliminate the push-up if you prefer, all right? So you're going to start by standing in the middle of your mat. You're first going to bend down and place your hands on the mat in front of you. Then you're going to step your feet back so that you are in a plank position. Put your knees down for a push-up if you want to include a push-up. If not, you can eliminate it. Step the feet back in and stand. Come up onto your toes if you can, and if you want, you can add a little jump. If you are not a beginner and you would like to try to do the push-up from your toes, let's go ahead and do one final bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you are ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. That took me 18 minutes and 26 seconds. So it was a little bit on the longer side today, but it was a lot of abs and it was a pretty tough workout. I felt like I was pushing myself as hard as I could. That's just what I had today, so I'm good with that. I got my reps done, and that's the important part. So now it's really important that you are taking a good 15 or 20 minutes to stretch. More if you can, but at least 15 or 20 minutes. Right now, immediately after the workout, is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm. If you do not have time to stretch now, that's fine. You can put it off until later in the day. Just keep in mind that if you wait until later in the day to stretch, your muscles will have gotten cold again, so you are going to need to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin your stretching routine. The same way we warm up before the workout, it's equally as important to make sure that you're not just jumping into your stretching routine with cold muscles. Cold muscles are not pliable, and it's very likely that you might overstretch or pull or strain a muscle if you just start stretching with cold muscles. So take a few minutes to warm your muscles back up so that they'll be nice and pliable. It will make your stretching safer and more effective. So it's fine to do it later in the day if you don't have time right now. Just don't skip your stretching. It's really important. It's going to help alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workouts. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward, and it's going to improve your flexibility and your mobility. So please make sure you're stretching every day. If you're a beginner and you don't know how to stretch, you don't have a stretching routine, you don't know what to do, it's so easy to just go on YouTube and search for a beginner stretching routine or a stretching routine for inflexible people. Okay, so there's going to be tons of great results to choose from. Just pick one that looks good to you. It doesn't matter what you do for your stretching as long as you get it done. There is a specific stretching routine that I do every single day after the workout. It's not my stretching routine, but years and years ago, I went on YouTube and I looked for a stretching routine geared towards inflexible people because my muscles were super tight. I found one that I love. It works for me. I've stuck with it ever since. It's really the only stretching routine I ever do. So if you're curious and you want that stretching routine, just ask. I'm happy to share that link with you. Before I do my stretching, though, I am going to add on 20 minutes of interval jump rope with Rude Becca. So that is why I'm holding Rude Becca, my adorable black jump rope with the cute little white skulls on the handles. If you would like to know where I got this jump rope, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link, use coupon code Rude Becca to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. The additional cardio is not required. It's not technically part of the challenge, but it's the way I do this challenge. I have been doing this challenge since 2020, and every year when I do this challenge, I like to add on 20 to 30 minutes or more, if I can, of cardio after every single workout, because I'm always trying to use this challenge to get myself in better shape, This year especially, I've gotten really out of shape over the holidays. I've gained weight, so I want to lose weight. I want to improve my stamina. I'm trying to strengthen my heart and my lungs. So the additional cardio goes a long way towards helping me to accelerate that process, which enables me to see results faster, and that encourages me to keep going, and so it makes motivation easier to come by. And as I'm improving my strength and my stamina and my endurance, that makes the workouts themselves a little bit easier, and so it just kind of snowballs from there. So I'm sharing it because this is the way I do the challenge. So you don't have to do the additional cardio, but this is the way I do the challenge. So I just want to be transparent about that. I want you to know that I'm doing more than just these 160 reps every day. This is the only strength training I'm doing. I'm relying on these 160 reps every day to build strength. But the additional cardio is just to, like I said, strengthen my heart and lungs, improve my endurance, my stamina, and it's to help me burn more calories so that it helps to accelerate that fat loss that I'm going for. So I like to do the cardio session after every single workout, and we're working out every Monday through Saturday. So that's 6 days a week, 6 cardio sessions a week. And I know that's a lot. And you might not physically be able to do 6 cardio sessions a week, or you might just not have the time to do 6 cardio sessions a week. I hear that. But if you can even find 2 or 3 days a week to sneak in a cardio session, it doesn't even have to be more than 20 or 30 minutes, but if you can just do it 2 or 3 times a week, I strongly recommend that you make an effort. It doesn't have to be jump rope. Any kind of moderate paced cardio you want to do is fine. So you can go for a jog or a brisk walk or a bike ride, a hike. If you have an exercise bike or a treadmill or something like that, you can hop on one of those for 20, 30 minutes. You can work on your heavy bag if you have a heavy bag, or if you have access to one at a gym or something. So any kind of cardio exercise you want to do is fine. But if you can just manage to squeeze in 2 or 3 cardio sessions a week, I just really think that it is going to help you start seeing results faster. It's going to help you start meeting those milestones faster. And that can be really encouraging once you start to see those positive changes happening in your body, whatever that means for you. Whether it's that you start seeing that you're losing weight and your clothes look better, or whether it's that you start feeling stronger and like you have more energy and more endurance. If you can just do 2 or 3 cardio sessions a week, it's going to help accelerate that process. You're going to start to see results faster, and it's just really encouraging. Once you can see the results of all your hard work, you see that what you're doing is working and you're getting closer to your goals, it really helps you to feel encouraged, and that helps you find the motivation to keep going, to keep getting up and getting dressed and getting out here every day and doing the reps. So I just think that you're going to be a lot happier with your results at the end of the challenge if you sneak in the cardio sessions when and where you can. So I like to do it after every single workout, but I strongly recommend at least 2 to 3 cardio sessions a week if you can, but do what you can, all right? And if you don't want to do any additional cardio, you don't have to. The additional cardio is not required. It is not technically part of the challenge, but it is strongly recommended. But cardio or no cardio, you guys, our 161 reps are complete. We have done our 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, 40 push-ups, and 1 bonus burpee. So well done. That is officially a wrap on day 21, which is amazing. We are into the back half of this challenge. So you guys are doing amazing. If you did this workout with me today, thank you very much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. Even if you're not doing the workouts, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to everyone who's doing the challenge with me. If you are not doing the challenge with me, please remember that it is not too late to join the challenge. It's never too late to join. You can start today. That's fine. Just do the second half of the challenge with me. If you want to start on day one, remember to save the playlist. And remember to start with your day one workout on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday will work. Start with day one on a Wednesday, and from there, all you have to do is just follow along with the playlist. I have made it super easy to follow along. If you have any questions about what the challenge is, how it works, how you can participate, where to begin, why we're doing it, who's Brutus, if you have questions about how to do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, or if you think you can't do this challenge because you think you can't do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, yes, you can. Watch that video for day one, and then remember that if anything is unclear or if you have any lingering questions after watching that video, I am right here doing the challenge with you, working out with you every single day, but I am also here to help. I'm here to answer questions. I am here to provide guidance, support, motivation, encouragement, anything you need. So save the playlist, watch the day one video, commit, and then just jump in and get started. Jump in today or start on day one on any random Wednesday. And remember, I'm always here to help. So if you have any questions about today's workout, about the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any questions about how to do the exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, since we were using equipment today, or beginner modifications, I'm right here to help, so please just ask. I also need to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. I don't know why, but I've been getting a lot of new subscribers lately. I'm not gonna question it. I'm just really happy. So if you are one of those new subscribers, thank you so much. I am so glad you found my little channel. And if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great, big, heartfelt thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 22. Bye.